welcome to Crime in Court. This is Justin Baldoni versus Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, and this is what I call This Ends in a Legal Battle because their movie was called This Ends with Us, and well, it ends in a legal battle. Because Blake Lively filed a complaint secretly in New York. She filed this, usually it's a under seal type of complaint that she filed against Baldoni for maltreatment, and then she leaked it. So that came out that she was the one that leaked it. I can't remember what source, so don't quote me on that, but I know I saw that over the weekend. There's been a lot of like little tiny updates in this case, and I'm gonna get you through it. Hold on. Okay, dog switching spots. There's been a lot of little updates, and I want to get you through it. I have a couple articles I want to get through and a couple videos. So, up first, we're actually going to watch the video, the entire video of those dailies that the daily videos that they keep referring to in the court documents is like the film just keeps rolling and it shows you everything that was filmed that entire day. And so they have some of that. And basically after Ryan Reynolds and Blake were like, no, we want a gag order, which let's read that first. So they wanted a gag order, and then um, Brian Friedman, the attorney for Justin Baldoni, leaked the actual dailies, and it appears that she was not. It did not seem like she was uncomfortable to me in that video. We'll look through it. There's like a whole 10 minutes of video that we can watch, the two of them having conversations while acting, whatever. Okay, but first, so this came out last week, I think. Um, yeah, so January 22nd, they said, um, or this is TMZ writing, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, please shut Justin Baldoni's lawyer up. So they want likely a gag order or something. Okay, so Blake and Ryan Reynolds want a judge to gag Justin Baldoni's lawyer, claiming he's making false statements about the case. I don't see false statements. He seems to be bringing receipts. The megastars filed a letter in court on Tuesday of last week, and in it, they asked the court to issue a protective order to stop Baldoni's lawyers, led by Brian Friedman, his attorney, from engaging in improper conduct, including going on an alleged harassing and retaliatory media campaign against Blake and Ryan. Oh, please. He's not retaliating, he's defending himself. There's a huge difference. And he's not using falsified documents to do so, which she has been accused of doing. They say he's violating court rules that stop a lawyer from making statements to the press that are irrelevant to a case and might prejudice the jury. He's not doing anything wrong. He's putting things in a filing. It's a court filing. He's not, I mean, he's made statements to the media, but everything that he's saying is backing up the documents that he has filed through the court. So, I mean, it's not like he's just making this stuff up. In it, Blake and Ryan specifically mentioned the release of unedited footage from It Ends With Us filming, which Blake's team claims corroborates to the letter what Ms. Lively described in her initial complaint back in December. Remember, Lively accused Baldoni of harassment of the intimate kind and engaging in a coordinated effort to destroy her reputation. Baldoni has since filed his own $400 million lawsuit against Lively, accusing her of defamation, civil extortion, and other allegations. This website, it has so many ads and stuff. Baldoni's team released behind the scenes footage from the movie to prove he never made any harassing comments. We will watch that in its entirety in just a minute. While Blake's team pushed back and Baldoni and while Blake's team pushed back and said that Baldoni never discussed or choreographed the intimacy here, and it made her feel uncomfortable. Remember this comment? There was no choreographed intimacy. Well, yeah, because you declined to meet with the intimacy coordinator, and she says she felt uncomfortable in this scene. You'll see, she's anything but. All right. Brian Friedman has been outspoken since taking Justin on as a client, including stopping by TMZ Live to discuss the case with in a wide-ranging interview earlier this month. Okay, I don't want to watch it. Sources connected to Justin Baldoni tell TMZ they believe it's grossly unfair to impose a gag order after Justin has been defamed by the New York Times in an article that they say has cost him 3 jobs and hundreds of millions of dollars. Well, then they absolutely have a case. If they can prove in court that he's lost like opportunities for work and making money, he absolutely has a good case against them and could very likely win a good settlement. All Justin wants to do, the sources say, is release videos and text messages to prove the allegations are false. The source adds, it is unbelievable that Blake Lively would go on a takedown campaign against Justin and then immediately turn around and say she wants a gag order so that Justin can't defend himself. Exactly. All right, so let's get to the actual video. This is Entertainment Tonight posted this in its entirety. It's like a 10-minute video. It's going to show us all the different sequence of filming that was filmed that day. So it said this was leaked from Brian Friedman. He's the source. It says Ms. Lively's complaint alleges that during a scene, Mr. Baldoni and Ms. Lively were filming for a slow dance montage. Mr. Baldoni was behaving inappropriately, according to Lively. The following videos, captured on May 23rd, 2023, clearly refute Ms. Lively's characterization of his behavior. This is ET's Entertainment Tonight's words, not mine, okay? But it clearly does refute Ms. Lively's characterization of his behavior. The scene in question was designed to show the two characters falling in love and longing to be close to one another. Both actors are clearly behaving well within the scope of the scene and with mutual respect and professionalism. These are all 3 takes filmed in sequence. All right, let's get it started. Hello? I know what the problem is. It was still showing you the words. Okay, here, this is what the scene says. So, this is basically their direction for the scene. So it's in a bar at night. Lily and Ryle, that's his character, slow dance in the bar. Patrons around them drinking and watching sports completely in their own world.
It's never meant to be comedy.
And I felt it there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I see it now.
Yeah, that's all they're supposed to
Okay,
do.
ready, everyone?
It's to communicate.
Talking, you're at the bar, something's on the screen. You
And
turn
can you give us a couple cues of like they score? Just so everyone else around us is having a moment.
But is it as rambunctious as it was earlier on?
No, it's never going to be because we're in slow-mo, but just they're watching, people are watching games. We see some, just some hands and things like that. Yeah, thank you.
Ready, and
So he's directing and acting at the same time. Remember this. So he just gave some directions for the direction of the movie, and now he's going to jump into actor mode and acting out the scene.
And everybody gets? And playback. Background. And camera.
I may not
have to back
always
up.
love you,
It's not on the marks, and I
as
think the
long
light
as
is
there
behind
are stars above you.
Oh, okay.
You never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it.
They score!
God only knows what
So they were just talking. I don't know if you understood that, but she said, "I think we're not on our marks. I think we need to move back. The light's behind you." And he said something about like it's actually better if the light's behind me. So he's still directing and acting. Okay.
I'd be without you. If you should ever leave me,
Go back to where he was supposed to
though life would still go on, believe me, the world could show nothing
Score again.
to me.
Having a good time.
So what good would living do me? God only knows what I'd be without you.
I think we should be talking.
be. Ryan, go to the bar. Ryan, go to the bar.
If we're like
So I think it's romantic if we're talking for the montage. He says, "Yeah, well, the whole montage is us talking." She says, "This is romantic because it's like the moment you kiss, then you give them the thing that they want to see."
then you give them the thing that they want to see. You know what I mean? So this is why I
Penalty.
almost gets me also. Yeah. Makes you talk.
Oh, watch out! Watch out!
They score again.
I think this person's drinking over. I think this person's drinking over.
You can butt in if you want.
Yeah.
Sebastian, cross back.
If you should ever leave me,
Ryan, cross again where you
though
were.
life would still go on, believe me, the world could show nothing to me. So what good would living do me? God only knows what I do.
So he kind of like nuzzled in her neck area, but like isn't touching her completely. It's very romantic. He's definitely like building up the romance because like in the scene, you can't hear them. You just hear the music. You don't hear them talking. There's nothing that they're saying. You're just seeing them. So he's playing on the scene. They're dancing. I assume that he's just playing off of that and trying to, builds the romance and the tension between the two before you kiss. That's what they were just talking about was like that tension building up and leading up to the kiss. So I think he's well in his rights to be doing this, and I think it's part of the scene too. Not within his rights, but you know what I mean. It's not it's not outside the scope of the scene at all. And she's smiling. He just nuzzled in her neck and she smiled back at him. So if she was uncomfortable, where was she uncomfortable? All right, let's keep watching.
God only knows what I'd be without you. God only knows. God only
Can we do a score? Can we do a score? Couple scores? While we're
So even in the middle of dancing, and it's like a very spicy, hot scene, right? He breaks it up. Let's do a score. Let's do a score. Like he's not into her. He's not. I mean, it looks like he is because he's acting. But it doesn't seem like he really is. It seems like he's doing his job. That's what he's supposed to be doing, acting like he's into her. But in reality, he's still directing, he's acting, and in real life, he's married with children.
Yeah, great.
And they score!
Talking.
I know, I just got lost.
No, we don't. It's more romantic.
We had no issue talking most of the time.
Yeah, and you're like, what are they saying?
I'll never know in slow motion.
You must know what they're saying.
I'm never gonna find out.
Now they're talking like, well, they're never going to find out what we're talking about. He said that. But little did he know he'd have to release this whole thing. But she was saying like it's more romantic when we're talking because her and Ryan talk. They do a lot of the talking. Probably like nervous chit chat is kind of what it feels like to me. She's kind of doing because of the tension in the scene, in my opinion. That's my opinion. But you guys tell me what you think.
And they win!
Oh my gosh, we don't shut up.
And Emily and I have we have these moments where
Staring, you just stare.
literally we've done it for like 5 minutes.
So now they're talking about their spouses. So let's back that up again. She just said her and Ryan do all the talk, all they do is talk, and then he said something about Emily, his wife, and then she mentioned the staring at one another.
I'm never gonna find out.
And they win!
Oh my gosh, we don't shut up.
And Emily and I have we have these moments where
Staring, you just stare.
literally we've done it for like 5 minutes. it's like I think you would find it terrifying. We just literally look at each other and like
When I
time
found a sociopath.
and like time stops.
Yeah.
But like that's just how it's been for us from the beginning.
Now she's almost like insinuating he's a sociopath. Yeah, I'd be like, oh no, I found a sociopath because they stare at one another or, they're comfortable in each other's presence without talking all the time, is what that means to me. My boyfriend and I, like, we've known each other since we were in high school, and we're like a reunited couple. Like, we parted ways, and we always somehow gravitate back towards one another. So, anyways, that now I totally forgot what I was thinking. Oh, we're comfortable with one another. We don't need to, like, we're so comfortable with one another. We don't need to have conversation constantly. We can be in the same room and just be quiet and, be doing our own thing. It's very, it's not that difficult when you're comfortable with that person and when you're comfortable with yourself. But it's, uh, maybe they're not comfortable with themselves or with one another, perhaps. Not, I mean, I'm not insinuating, I'm just saying if that is the case where you're like so conscious of the silence that you have to fill it with constantly talking.
A sociopath.
And like time stops.
Yeah.
But like that's just how it's been for us from the beginning.
No, we're like, oh my god, there's not enough time.
And they score again.
No.
Again.
It's like, oh my god, I forgot to tell you something else.
I think that's cute. You guys are really cute.
I think it's more than cute.
They won the Stanley Cup.
I think it's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So now her and Ryan constantly having to talk and tell each other stuff that is she needed to have more validation from him. Like, it's not just cute, it's more than cute, right? Like, I would say that's, we're just made in heaven type of thing. We're better than everybody else.
And then let's just do one almost like super close.
Yeah.
Can you guys frame up on the Sebastian on you?
Yeah.
Just
Again, he's still directing in the middle of conversation as they're, having private conversation, but in this like intimate moment scene, they're not breaking character, but also they're talking. It's okay to have a conversation with one another because there wasn't anything there is no script. This is just them dancing and being close with one another and the tension building. But in reality, they can talk about real life and stuff. But he's also directing and conscious of that still.
We'll just do like our lips are right next to each other. Yeah, gotcha.
But I think it should start talking.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Still rolling.
See what I mean? I think she's like a nervous. I think she's nervously flirting. If I'm being quite honest, it almost seems that way to me. Let's take it back again. Because, like, she can't just be silent with Justin.
Lips are right next to each other. Yeah, gotcha.
But I think it should start talking.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Still rolling.
Don't give it to them. They want it. Don't give it to
They
them.
score.
Just
Right.
keep restraint.
Yeah.
Score.
Just do a little bit of restraint.
Ryan, come on back. And the couple by the bar walk towards us, cross. Who is that? No, your name, sorry. Ponytail lady.
And then-
Cross this way, cross this way. Take your date and cross this way.
Give me your directions from probably
I know. And my nose is so big.
I was hoping that we could address this.
So this was actually in his complaint, was that she complained that he was basically body shaming her when it came to like he asked the trainer that they were both using how much she weighed so he could be able to build up to that after a back injury. He wanted to be able to lift her in a scene. He wanted to be able to build up to that and like strengthen his back for that, be prepared for that role or for that scene. And she took that as some kind of body shaming and put that in her complaint. And Ryan Reynolds yelled at him in some private meeting at their house. I don't know. There like a whole bunch of crazy details. But anyways, so he now I lost my train of thought. Body shaming. It's actually her that's got myself back. It's actually her that has been body shaming him because she had been making fun of his nose and telling him he had a large nose. And in this scene, she just did it again. So, watch.
Cross this way. Take your date and cross this way.
I feel so nosy.
I know. And my nose is so big.
I was hoping that we could address this. It's not too late. Just gotta shut down. We gotta call an insurance month and just deal with that. And then
So, let's shut down production for a month so you can go get a nose job for the film. Yeah, that's what she just said. Oh, but it's just a joke.
Cut.
just kidding.
No, it's true. That's why we hired Jenny Slate too. Our noses.
Jenny Slate.
Let's go.
Jenny Slate's a funny actress, and she also has a large nose. I don't even think Justin has a large nose, and I don't even think Jenny Slate does either. But I guess you could say that she does, but I think they're proportionate enough.
So if you're like, oh, we missed some stuff.
Yeah.
They know each other better than that. She's not marrying someone she doesn't know with lots of red flags. Do you know what I mean? You're like, oh, okay, there's stuff that we don't know.
All of it.
Yeah. It feels.
So they're talking about their characters, so there's nothing wrong with that.
Take one step further, Catherine, please. Great, thank you.
Let's start on action. Let's just do everyone celebrated. There's a game going on. On action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
People passing.
On action, it'll just be celebration. They've just scored. Ready and
Well, let
lay
me
back.
get your hat in there
Lay
a second,
back.
and then I'll take it off. Like I'll try to kiss you, and then I'll take it off.
Background.
Great.
I know you wanted the hat.
Yeah, you know I like my hats. Oh, got this sticker. Good.
Is this the
No, there's no sticker.
And they score! They score!
As long as there are stars above you,
Yo.
darling, I'll make you so sure about it. God only knows what I'd be without you.
They score another.
If you should
I'm not getting a beard on you today.
I'm probably getting spray tan on you.
Smells good.
Well, it's not that. It's my body makeup.
What could show nothing to me? So what good would living do me?
So if you recall, in her complaint, she said that Justin said something about he leaned into her, without any provocation, and said it smells so good to her in her ear. Well, we just heard her say, or he said, I'm probably getting beard on you. And then she said, I hope I'm not getting spray tan on you. And he's like, it smells good. Like making her not feel self-conscious, you know? So, but she uses that in a complaint. Let's watch that sequence again.
Let's score another.
If you should
I'm not getting beard on you today.
I'm probably getting spray tan on you.
It smells good.
Well, it's not that. It's my body makeup.
what could show nothing to me? So what good would living do me?
And they win. They won.
All right, cut. I think we got plenty.
Yes.
Slow motion. It's going to be a 17-minute reel.
And like.
Well, I pictured her in like
Apple, take one. Emer.
very simple
Emer.
stuff, but then not before. I always thought she was badass than that. But there's no description.
Set and playback and background.
I may not always love you, but as long as there are stars above you, you never need
I'm
to
gonna
doubt
let you
it.
direct this, okay?
I'll make you so sure about it. God only knows what I'd be without
My
you.
heel's being cropped out of there.
Don't crop out her heel.
This sparkle.
If you should ever leave me,
I think if our
though
feet are
life would
Now
still
that
go
I have better shoes.
on,
I mean,
believe me, the world
where's the harassment here?
could show nothing to me. So what good would living do
And a better question, why is she wearing mom jeans?
me?
light is being blocked.
God only knows what I'd be without you.
Yes. There we go. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Now it's better.
Spinning. Here we go.
God only knows what
Cut. We're good. Blake Lively special, everybody.
All right, that is the full clip that I was able to find from Entertainment Tonight. So, what do you guys think? Do you think Justin harassed her? Or do you think Blake Lively is making things up? Let's take a look at this article that came out. Well, it says 1 day ago, so I guess it was on the 25th. So it says Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds reportedly are ordered to hand over. Sorry, let me switch screens here. Make that a little bit bigger. Reportedly, order to hand over texts and emails about Justin Baldoni. Hollywood golden couple Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds will be asked to hand over all communications about Justin Baldoni as part of his countersuit, according to reports. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are set to be subpoenaed imminently. Imminently. I love that. imminently for all communications related to Justin Baldoni in the latest twist of the It Ends With Us lawsuit, or It Ends With a Legal Battle. Oh, get out of here, these ads. I hate them. All right. The Hollywood power couple are both named as defendants in Baldoni's suit, which has now pulled Reynolds into the increasingly complex legal battle. If Baldoni prevailed, Lively and Reynolds could face a massive $400 million payout. That's what Baldoni is asking for. That's not necessarily what he's going to get. There might even be caps on um, civil um, rewards, monetary rewards, when it comes to whatever statutes they're going for. So I have no idea what the law is and where they're doing it, because I know Baldoni's doing it in California, they're doing it in New York. So it's like it's all over the place. But anyways, Lively, 37, and Reynolds, 48, along with their PR executive Leslie Sloan, are reportedly facing deposition requests. Uh-oh, you guys are going to have to sit and swear what you're telling is the truth. These would require them to provide hours of testimony, submit all texts and emails related to Baldoni and It Ends With Us, and undergo questioning from Baldoni's legal team. A source close to the case told the Daily Mail without a doubt all parties involved should expect to be subpoenaed and deposed very soon. So there you have it. Tensions between the two stars first surfaced during the movie's promotional campaign upon its release in August of last year. Despite being on-screen love interests, Baldoni and Lively were never pictured together in the lead up to the film's release, and they undertook their press tour duties separately. You never saw them together. He was often solo while she was with the other cast and crew. This led to a negative narrative developing around Lively, which the actress has now claimed was due to an orchestrated smear campaign by Baldoni and his PR team, which he denies. Meanwhile, according to Baldoni, the conflict reached a peak when he and his family were allegedly relegated to a basement during the film's premiere, reportedly at Lively's insistence. Okay, ad, go away. Here we go. All right. Lively filed her lawsuit against Baldoni, accusing him of SA on the set of It Ends With Us, including claims that he would ask probing questions about her intimate life with Ryan Reynolds, would invite his friends into nude scenes with Lively, and would make jokes about Lively's dead father. Shortly after Lively filed her lawsuit, the New York Times published an article based on Lively's claims alleging that Baldoni orchestrated a smear campaign against her and amplifying the harassment allegations. In response, Baldoni filed a defamation lawsuit against the New York Times and launched a lawsuit against Lively and Reynolds, accusing them of leveraging their celebrity status to take control of his film and damage his career. Another layer of the increasingly confusing tale was added when raw footage from the film was released, which we just went over. The clip obtained by the Mail from Baldoni's production company Wayfair Studios and his attorney Brian Friedman captures a behind-the-scenes moment from the slow dancing scene. In the clip, Baldoni mentions that his beard. Okay, we went through all that. Okay, so that is what's on the horizon for Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, because Blake Lively wanted to ruin, or maybe was it not Blake Lively? Was it Ryan Reynolds who decided they wanted to ruin this other actor's career because they're A-listers and he's not, and they've got the money and the power behind the studios, and he doesn't? Hold that thought, because I was watching this episode of Candace Owens the other day on her channel, and she has some sources that might say some things that might say that it wasn't necessarily Blake. So let's see what she's got to say. She's I'm gonna let it play for a little bit. She's got a good segment here.
All right, guys, happy Wednesday to everyone but Blake Lively. My oh my, Justin Baldoni's lawyers have now leaked the official footage of her alleged sexual harassment, and I now need this to go to trial. We're going to speak about that, all of the updates, Daenerys Targaryen getting dragged into this. It's crazy. Also, I got to give you my commentary regarding Wendy Williams, because what is happening to her is an absolute abomination. I can't believe it's even allowed to happen in this country. And finally, Trump launches an attack on a female bishop. Just kidding. There's no such thing as a female bishop. Welcome back to Candace.
Sorry, I thought I had it at the right spot.
They just don't listen to Candace Owens. I could have saved so many lives, so many careers. I mean, I gave Blake Lively last week the literal best, most heartfelt advice I could have given to practically anyone. Just 5 days ago. 5 days ago, I said this. Take a listen. Listen to me, Blake Lively. Tap out. Tap out. Call uncle right now. Please take my advice. Narrator. She did not listen. She did not take my advice at all. I said that having read through Blake Lively's complaint, that it was evident to me that she was likely under the influence when she filed her complaint. Not under the influence of drugs, not under the influence of alcohol, but of the influence of proximity to Taylor Swift. Maybe one Eras tour too many had been attended by her and Ryan, and they were just feeling like they were Taylor Swift. I just recognized her brand of feminism, and I called that name. I said that before we even knew that Taylor Swift was somehow involved in this entire debacle, okay? So let's just tell you how she is involved, because that's incredible. I can't believe I called it that accurately. But so essentially, to remind you, Wayfarer Studios, okay, is Justin Baldoni's production company. As such, it was them that purchased the rights to the book, It Ends With Us. So this is literally Justin Baldoni's movie, in which he cast himself in alongside Blake Lively, which, by the way, to me, that's the reason why none of it made sense in the beginning when she was alleging that he made her feel ugly or old, I guess before he sexually harassed her after. It's like, he picked you. He literally picked you. So obviously he picked you because he did not think you were old or ugly or whatever it is that you're saying. Anyways, in his counter complaint, he alleged that Blake Lively used her A-list orbit to bully him into just taking over Wayfarer Studios project. Like, suddenly she was like, I want this to be my movie.
Remember, Justin put in 5 years of his life into this movie. And this woman, this A-list actress, which she's not, let's just face it, but because she's married to Ryan Reynolds, she has the power of an A-list actress. So now she just decides that she wants to take over the film. Or is it her?
And who were the A-list friends that she allegedly used to bully him? None other than Taylor Swift and, of course, her husband, Ryan Reynolds. I mean, I was so on the money with this. It's kind of scary, okay? So the story goes, essentially, he says she didn't even read the book before signing on to the project. Then she read the book and kind of became consumed with it and wanted to basically introduce her own lines and wanted to become a part of the project and rework the script. So she submitted to him her ideas for how to rework the script, and apparently he gave her feedback, essentially saying, like, I really love how passionate you are about this project. Maybe we'll take some of these ideas, but like, obviously we're not going to take all of these ideas because it's our project. And for Blake, she said, no, this does not work for me. I am Blake Lively. I have my children are the godchildren of Taylor Swift. We get what we want in life. And right now, I want your movie, okay? I want your movie. And so she invites Justin Baldoni, again, these are the allegations that he's making, but he's giving the text messages to prove it, over to her house. And Justin Baldoni says that at that moment, Taylor Swift just pops in and says, yeah, I read Blake's lines and I think they're super groovy. Super groovy lines. I love this. I said groovy. I just felt like that's something Taylor Swift might say. Anyways, and then you have Justin Baldoni, who's like, okay, great. Like, wow, it's a lot of power. It's Taylor Swift just walking into a casual living room here.
Right? Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds both pressuring you, saying, "Well, I really like Taylor's version. You should really use Taylor's version. I mean, Blake's version. Use Blake's version." That's a lot of pressure on someone when you've got a lot of that star power, trying to reinforce some ideas that you might not agree with.
And then in pops Ryan Reynolds from Deadpool. And he's like, yeah, we really just love my wife's lines. She's so creative and she's so amazing. So he leaves the house and he texted Blake Lively and he showed this text message where he basically said to her, like, hey, you don't have to enlist A-listers. Like, I thought some of your ideas were good anyways. I don't really need the peer pressure of having Taylor Swift kind of say, you need to put this in the movie. And he felt like it was kind of an implicit threat, like, do this or there will be pain. There will be 13-year-old girls singing in an auditorium that is sold out all across the world. Words to songs that are, I'm not going to say about you, but are definitely obviously maybe about you, because I'm just going to write lyrics in a way that's pretty obvious that it's about you, Mr. Justin Baldoni. That's how he felt. Then he provides Blake Lively's response to him saying, like, you didn't have to do this. I already thought you had some pretty good ideas. And she actually wrote this, guys. She wrote this. This is her text message back to Justin Baldoni. She wrote, if you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones, you'll appreciate that I'm Khaleesi. And like her, I happen to have a few dragons, for better or worse, but usually for better, because my dragons also protect those that I fight for. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I can promise. Little smiley face.
Seriously? I mean, what?
I'm so scared. Like, what? Why do celebrities not know they're insane? Like, do they know that human beings don't text like that? That's my question. Do they understand that at no point in my entire life am I texting that to anybody, especially when we're dealing with a work setting and somebody is the person who is running the movie? It's their project. I'm like, I've got little monsters, little dragons, and their names are Taylor Swift. And I don't often use them, but if you give me what I want, yes, exactly what I want, then they are not going to figuratively blow fire on your head. That's insane. That is clinical insanity in my book, okay? I don't have my PhD, I'm not a psychologist, but I'm telling you that's clinical insanity. And I could not believe, I just kept reading it going, there's no way she did this. And she did. She really, really sent that text. And I loved the internet immediately recognizing how problematic this storyline was. This is what one person tweeted. They wrote, the fact that Blake Lively refers to herself as Khaleesi from Game of Thrones is kinda nuts. Not kinda. Did she miss where Daenerys became a villain at the end of the series? So for those of you who are not aware of how it ends, okay, maybe I shouldn't, spoiler alert ahead right here, but Daenerys essentially just goes crazy in the end and burns everything and then kind of gets killed by her lover. So TikTok is calling this basically her text message a self-fulfilling prophecy. Take a listen.
Wait, I'm sorry. Blake Lively comparing herself to Khaleesi has to be one of the wildest cases of self-fulfilling prophecy I've seen to date. Like, everyone's making fun of her for saying that, but what's more Khaleesi than being a once beloved public figure who stood to win it all and lost it in a fiery rage? Like, no, like, it is giving twin. She's absolutely accurate. And just like in Game of Thrones, in the end, those dragons did not mean
Yes, it did. The dragons in the end did not actually matter. So I don't know who's supposed to be Jon Snow.
So if she wants to compare herself to Khaleesi, it didn't end for Khaleesi very well. And it's probably not going to end for her very well for this either, as we start to see more and more of the truth revealed. And I think it's probably wise if they just settled. But there's more.
Nope. I have to assume it is her husband, Ryan Reynolds, but because he's loyal to Khaleesi, that's the whole thing. But now, because of this, Disney and Marvel are getting dragged into this drama, okay? So Bob Iger of Disney and the Marvel CEO, Kevin Feige, have now received from Brian Friedman a preservation order, okay? Baldoni's attorney believes that Blake Lively's husband was flagrantly mocking Baldoni in a sequence of the movie, Marvel's Deadpool and Wolverine, which was released by Disney in July, okay?
This is the part that I really wanted you guys to see because we talked about this before, but not in detail on my channel. And so Baldoni alleges that the Nice Pool character, which was in the most recent uh, Wolverine Deadpool movie that came out, he created a character called Nice Pool who had long hair, ponytail, and a bun, and who says he identifies as a feminist, ha ha ha, because he was making fun of Justin Baldoni, who also usually has long hair and a bun, identifies as a feminist, has his own podcast, to talk about like masculine toxicity or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? So he's kind of like a self-proclaimed feminist. And so he does, uh, Ryan Reynolds allegedly used a lot of his characteristics in the film for that character. So let's see what she has to say about this. I think this is an excellent point that she makes.
Okay. Now, I thought that was crazy. I was like, what are you talking about? They were like, well, there's this character played by Ryan Reynolds. His name is Nice Pool. I'm not a Deadpool stan. I don't know anything about these movies. And essentially, they were like, he worked Justin Baldoni into this as a way to bully him. Cue Taylor Swift feminism, by the way. This is right from her playbook. Like, I'm not bullying. Now it's art. As long as I just create lines in a song or lines in a movie to speak trash about someone, then no one can say it's anything other than creativity and not just A-list bullying, okay? So he did this, and there's no question that he did this, by the way, because I looked into it, and there were these alternate versions of Deadpool where he said lines like, "Where in God's name is the intimacy coordinator?" Yeah, that was at the crux of what was going on in this lawsuit. She said that there was no intimacy coordinator, and then he said back that she declined the intimacy coordinator, okay? Also, in one of the Deadpool outtakes, there's Nice Pool notes, he says this, quote, calling is to one day start a podcast that monetizes the women's movement. Okay. So he's saying he wants to one day start a podcast that monetizes the women's movement. Why would Nice Pool say this? Well, because Justin Baldoni had a podcast that was entitled Be Man Enough, and he was the co-host with a woman that was named Liz Plank, and they spoke about feminist issues. He was kind of like a male feminist, Justin Baldoni, before all this happened. But then Liz Plank quit the podcast after Blake Lively made her allegations. So it was just a stab in the heart to Justin Baldoni. And we're going to actually show you this clip about this lawsuit, clearly about this lawsuit that made it into the final cut of the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Here is clearly, again, Ryan Reynolds making fun of Justin Baldoni.
Who are you? Oh, I'm Deadpool. And I guess you're a Deadpool too. But in here, everybody calls me Nice Pool. Oh my goodness, wait till you see Lady Pool. She is gorgeous. She just had a baby too, and can't even tell.
Lady Pool is actually played by Blake Lively. She's in it for like a split second at the end. But yes, Lady Pool is played by Blake.
I don't think you're supposed to say that. That's okay.
Let me rewind
Oh
it
my-
'cause I kinda-
And I guess you're a Deadpool too. But in here, everybody calls me Nice Pool. Oh my goodness, wait till you see Lady Pool. She is gorgeous. She just had a baby too, and can't even tell. I don't think you're supposed to say that. That's okay. I identify as a feminist. Right.
So there you have it. That was also one of the things that was at the root of this lawsuit. She's saying that she had just had a baby. He's calling her Mrs. Deadpool and saying that he had commented on her body and he's not supposed to do that. So it's pretty blatant, okay? Brian Friedman, the lawyer on this case, is not kidding. Brian, hit me up. I got to have you on my team somewhere, because not only did he go after all of these people, but now he decided to flat out release the scene in question, basically the climax of Blake Lively's abuse lawsuit. Okay, this is literally the climax. I'm going to show you directly from her allegations what she wrote in her lawsuit. She said, on another occasion, Mr. Baldoni and Ms. Lively were filming a slow dance scene for a montage in which no sound was recorded. Mr. Baldoni chose to let the camera roll and have them perform the scene, but he did not act in character as Ryle. Instead, he spoke to Ms. Lively out of character as himself. At one point, he leaned forward and slowly dragged his lips from her ear and down her neck as he said, "It smells so good." None of this was even remotely in character or based on any dialogue in the script, and nothing needed to be said again because there was no sound. Mr. Baldoni was caressing Miss Lively's with his mouth in a way that had nothing to do with their roles. When Ms. Lively later objected to this, Mr. Baldoni's response was, "I'm not even attracted to you."
All right, I'm going to pause it here because she just read something that reminded me. So she says, or this complaint, Lively's complaint says that this was remotely, or this, yeah, none of this was remotely in character or based on any dialogue of the script, and nothing needed to be said because, again, there was no sound. Was it not her saying the whole time, but I think we need to talk. I think we gotta talk. We gotta talk. Just keep talking. She she was the one who initiated the conversation. She was the one that kept continuing the conversation, whereas he seems like he would have been fine if there was no conversation.
Okay, so when people read that, they were like, what a little creep. He obviously just can't keep his hands off of her, and that's really disgusting. And then he insulted her afterwards when she brought it up. Well, Brian Friedman said, here are the receipts. We are going to release all of the footage because apparently she was wrong. And Justin had his mic switched on. She thought there was no evidence of this recording anywhere. And it's a movie set. He happened to have his mic switched on, so we can now actually watch what she is conveying as sexual harassment. Now I'm going to show you these title cards that Daily Mail put before it. They wrote, Miss Lively's complaint alleges that during a scene, Mr. Baldoni and Ms. Lively were filming for a slow dance montage. Mr. Bird of
We
2000
read all that.
longing to control this should be slow dance. Like, this is them falling in love. And so you're not hearing anything, but you're kind of seeing the gazes or whatever. And so obviously they're going to make small talk with each other because otherwise it's awkward. If they're just like, go. No, instead, they're pretending that they're talking and falling in love. And he's like, should I move forward, backwards? Here is the first clip where you're going to hear them talking, both of them talking about their husbands. This is so weird. Take a listen.
They win! Oh my gosh, we don't shut up.
And Emily and I have we have these moments where
Staring, you just stare.
literally we've done it for like 5 minutes. it's like, I think you would find it terrifying. We just literally hear each other and like
when
time.
I found a sociopath.
And like time stops.
Yeah.
But like that's just how it's been for us from the beginning.
No, we're like, oh my god, there's not enough time.
And they score again.
Yeah.
Again.
It's like, oh my god, I forgot to tell you something else.
Saying how much her and Ryan never stop speaking. How uncomfortable. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. And then here is the second clip, which was, again, this is at the root, the dragging down, saying that she smells so good. That just sounds creepy. Here's what actually happened.
I'm not getting beard on you today.
Well, it's
All right, we watched
To her, obviously making small chatter not in character so as not to make the scene, which didn't require dialogue, awkward. And he says it smells good because he makes a little joke like, I'm probably getting my beard on you, as he leans in close. And then she says, it's okay, I'm probably getting my spray tan on you. How is this allowed? Literally, I'm just asking the question, like, how are women allowed to do this, to take something and to make it sound like you survived a rape? Because that's what it sounded like to the public when she spoke about everything that he possibly did when she first dropped that or had someone on her team leak to the New York Times, that initial complaint filed in California. You just go, how is this allowed? This is why I say being a little bit cheeky, but also not. Like, I just hate the modern women today. You know, this feminist, like, you're suffering from absolute to try to.
What I was trying to do also was find there was another part where she talked about Ryan Reynolds. Oh, she went on for a while. I don't want to play this whole thing where she puts him in the basement, but Ryan Reynolds. Maybe it's not in this one. Hold on, let me find it. Here's the other clip. It was a different video. All right, here's a more recent video that she just put out. And this is her talking about Ryan Reynolds' part. She actually got some intel, she says here.
Of me. I think I said 2 days ago I wasn't going to cover this again, but then I got intel. It was me. I got amazing intel. Okay. So first, let's cut to this headline, this little update in the Daily Mail. And the Daily Mail is saying that Ryan Reynolds is in a desperate bid to save his image amid his wife's Blake Lively's $400 million legal battle with Justin Baldoni. So he is now concerned. And buried in this article, it tells us that insiders claim, ready, that it was Reynolds who pushed for the shock request for a gag order, because they just now are requesting a gag order. And this is a desperate bid to stave off any disruption to all of his upcoming projects and the staff at his company, because he runs a company called Maximum Effort Productions, and for the sake of his wife's well-being. Well, isn't that timely? The quotation given to the Daily Mail was, Ryan was a driving force in requesting a gag order for Justin's attorney. The insider told DailyMail.com exclusively. Ryan's production company has a lot of projects in the works right now, and Ryan would be be devastated if this impacted these, as it is unfair to his coworkers and the people who work at his company. Okay, Ryan. Okay, Ryan. We're starting to see you for who you are. Rather hilariously, apparently there was some medium who went on a show, I should have dug up the clip for you guys to watch, and predicted the day before yesterday that this entire Blake Lively thing was going to shift around and it was going to be about Ryan Reynolds. It was going to be bad for Ryan Reynolds. She told this to Drew Pinsky. And I did not know this. And when I got my tip yesterday, I just started sharing it because I was going, this is the only thing that makes sense. The person who wrote to me said that they worked on the set of It Ends With Us, okay? And that the villain in this entire story is not Blake Lively. It's not Justin Baldoni, but it is Ryan Reynolds. And now...
So intel from people that worked on the set say Ryan Reynolds is the bad guy in this. So let's hear why.
Now I look at him and I just go, how did I not see? Look, he puts Botox in his forehead. Of course. He's a madman. Of course. Obviously. So essentially what they said is this is what happened. They said that you have on set these things that are called dailies, which is essentially all of the footage that was shot in one day. They said one day Ryan Reynolds comes to set. This is the backstory. Comes to set, reviews the dailies, the raw footage, whatever that was shot today, reviews the script, and then he goes into his trailer, allegedly. Don't gag order or sue me, Ryan Reynolds. Okay, I don't want to be involved in your drama. I'm just telling my audience what I was told. He goes into Blake Lively's trailer and they have an argument. All of the production assistants overheard the argument, okay? Now, what was at the root of that argument? We don't know, but we can assume it had something to do with what he saw in these dailies, what he read in the script. Who even knows what led him to even visit on this day? And the person says that from that day forward, he started involving himself, that he basically became a chaperone for her on set. He was there basically every day, involved in the projects, wanting to rewrite lines, and suddenly Ryan Reynolds was trying to wrangle this project from Justin Baldoni, okay?
Maybe Ryan is a control freak. It sounds like it. Maybe he controls Blake a little bit. Maybe he came onto set thinking they talked too much or something, and because they were texting back and forth, we have proof of that. They were talking about the project upcoming, all the stuff they were going to do and how excited they were about it. And maybe that got Reynolds a little jealous. And then maybe he saw the dailies from their slow dance scene and he got mad. Perhaps. This is just what someone told someone.
Okay. So that is first and foremost positively fascinating, because I didn't even consider the angle that there had been some sort of a fight that took place between Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds that switched things. But it makes sense when you look at the lawsuit, because Justin Baldoni is like, we offered her an intimacy coordinator and she was not okay with it. Then suddenly in her complaint, which I am now referring to as Ryan Reynolds' complaint, she's like, there was no intimacy coordinator. And he's like, she was totally fine and joking with me about this stuff. And then all of a sudden in the complaint, she's like, why is he riffing at all? Like, we have to just stay in character at all times, which is a bizarre thing for any actor or actress to say, because riffing is a part of the job. Like, I only did drama club when I was in like 8th grade. I think I was a Munchkin in The Wizard of Oz. But even I knew that you got to riff, because you got to be able to riff. That's the whole point. Something could go wrong and you got to be able to be on your feet. So it was oddly particular for her to say he was not in character or this or whatever it was. But when you add that she was...
And I made that comment too when we read through that. I'm like, how the hell does she know if he's in character or not? And what does it matter if you're in a scene and there's no actual script and you're trying to portray that you're getting along and falling in love, perhaps?
Was okay with everything until a certain day, it starts to make sense. So let's go through some of these elements. So the person then told me that what followed was essentially Justin Baldoni being completely sideswept by Ryan, just trying to peacock him and show him that, like, it doesn't matter who you are. Like, I'm the A-lister. I am Ryan Reynolds. I have A-list friends. I'm friends with Taylor Swift. I am friends with Hugh Jackman. I'm the person that plays Deadpool. And that is when... And this person was a strong contact. So this isn't like a little bit of tea. This is like, I felt good receiving this information from another person who said that it was Ryan Reynolds who marched into WME, okay, which is Endeavor. It's also called Endeavor. It is the biggest talent agency in the world. Every celebrity is under there, from Taylor Swift to Justin Baldoni. and said, it's us or it's him. Like, you're going to drop Justin Baldoni or you're going to lose all of us. And I obviously that has a little bit of weight at Endeavor if you're friends with Taylor Swift. So here's the article of what happened next. You can see Justin Baldoni gets dropped from WME in wake of Blake Lively's sexual harassment allegations. That person is telling me that.
So now, not only do we know that he's lost roles, he's lost opportunities to make money, he's also lost his talent agency that just dropped him because Ryan Reynolds apparently has an ego and didn't want Justin anywhere near his own talent agency because why? Because Blake seemed to be enjoying talking to him, dancing with him, acting in her role of the things that she was supposed to be doing. Seems like they both were, within the right context for the scene. It wasn't like either one of them was inappropriate, I thought.
It was 100% Ryan that orchestrated that dropping, and it was an ultimatum that he delivered to their door. So Ryan felt like he won. He had Justin Baldoni, as we showed you, in the basement at his own premiere event, even though it was his movie that his production company brought the rights from. Justin Baldoni in a basement with his wife and his family, celebrating it next to Dasani water, making the best of it. And now he gets dropped. The civil complaint is filed, and Ryan is like, we won. What Ryan didn't realize, okay, or didn't calculate for rather, was that Justin Baldoni shares that production company, Wayfarer Studios, with a guy who is a billionaire, okay? So Taylor Swift might have influence, but money is money, okay? And this guy made a...
That's a billion with a B as in boy. Billionaire. And friend. Friend, co-owner of Wayfarer, billionaire.
ton of money in the 1990s. He's a very tall guy, by the way. I think Justin Baldoni is 6'2". And this guy, Steven Sarosky, is basically just living out the rest of his life trying to do good things, right? So this is an article. He lives in Chicago, and it says the city's newest billionaire doesn't plan to die one. He does not want to die a billionaire. His plan for Steve Sarowitz and his wife is to just give away $1 billion in charity during your lifetimes. That's a lot. He's so rich that his new goal is to give away $1 billion. Like, that's what we're all aspiring to. And this guy, like I said, is just Dr. Do-Good. He has no horse in this race. He wanted to establish Wayfarer Studios to do and to bring stories to life that have really good messages. And I haven't read this book, It Ends With Us, but apparently there's a really good message. And apparently what I am told is Justin Baldoni truly is kind of one of these bleeding heart libs, as is this guy, Steve Sarosky. And they just wanted to like do good things. And they're like true feminists, you know, like how can we bring stories to life that tell the story of women's struggles, okay? Maybe not someone that would invite me over for tea, but whatever. So this guy, for no reason...
She's not into feminism. You don't have to like her political views to understand her take on Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, though.
Because of Ryan Reynolds, gets blacklisted from Hollywood, because that's how it works. When Endeavor says you're out, you're out, okay? When Taylor Swift says you're out, you're out. I'm not saying she did, but I'm saying that I'm sure her name meant something with like, we're going to leave. And Taylor Swift is the godmother to all of our children. And this guy's not taking that sitting down. And so what I'm hearing is that he was the one that was sort of like, hey, like, this is not okay. That all of this is happening because of the ego or because of the jealousy of Ryan Reynolds, like a small man who got jealous, came to set, got jealous, and is essentially trying to destroy the movie, trying to destroy this company, and getting an actual good company blacklisted from Hollywood using his A-list contacts. Now, here's what's fascinating.
And that's just so wrong. Using your power, your star power, to blacklist somebody else just because you don't like them. And that really does seem to appear to be what was happening here. They tried to destroy Justin Baldoni, his career, his reputation, everything. In a Me Too world where we cancel everybody, thankfully we're heading away from that. But we're in a cancel culture. So you put false allegations on someone for SA and their career's pretty much done. Look at examples in the past. It's happened many times. So it's scary. This is very, very much reminiscent of Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, although they were in a relationship, but still very reminiscent in trying to put out a different story to the world, defaming that person, and then when that person fights back, the truth starts to come out.
This is not the first time. When you then start recognizing that this could have been a Ryan Reynolds personality issue, that Ryan Reynolds has been accused of being controlling before. Let's remember, he dates women that are like about a decade younger than him, marries women that are younger than him. When he met Scarlett Johansson, who he was married to first, she was 20, he was 28 or 29, and then they got married. And nobody really knew why they got divorced, but the closest that Scarlett Johansson ever came to suggesting why they got divorced was for Elle magazine. When she was talking, she said this, and I'm going to show you. It says, I'm sorry, talking to Cosmopolitan, ScarJo, without naming any names, said the logistics of being with one another as an actor are challenging. There has to be a real understanding of how you share your time, especially when two people's careers are going at the same rate, or even if one person is more successful than the other, that also proves challenging. There may be a competitive thing. And the writer includes, that's all the explanation you're ever going to get from ScarJo on this one. But since she's currently with an art dealer, we assume she's not talking about her current relationship and most likely about the 3 years that she spent married to Ryan Reynolds, who is, as you may know, an actor. Okay, so that's her speaking about her relationship, why it maybe fell apart. And when you start to realize that all of this is going on in the background with Ryan.
That last line was about competition. There might be some competition there. Do we think that Ryan Reynolds might be really competitive?
Reynolds, and he's at set every day, you start realizing just how over-involved he was in a film that had nothing to do with him. So we knew that he had a blow up. They had a blow up. Ryan Reynolds allegedly screamed in Justin Baldoni's face at his apartment. Justin Baldoni said he was humiliated, that he had never been screamed at like that in his entire life. And despite this, Ryan Reynolds injected himself and brought his A-list friends in the form of Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, to set to create promos. Okay,
So we brought Hugh Jackman to set also to throw in some more star power. If Taylor Swift and him weren't enough, here's Hugh Jackman.
Promos for It Ends With Us. But in this promo, he's very clearly taking a jab at Justin Baldoni. Listen to what he says.
Okay. Oh, God.
This is cool.
It's not every day the husband gets to interview his wife's love interest in a film. It's kind of crazy.
I don't remember seeing this on the schedule.
Let's dive in, shall we? So I saw you posing in a photo with Mrs. Reynolds, and I'm sorry, what do you call her? Do you guys have a nickname or something? Okay, no, just so it's Mrs. Okay.
No.
It's not every day a guy gets to interview the love interest of his best friend's wife, and the guy trying to replace Ryan as a husband, and me as his best mate.
Holy shit.
What the hell are you doing?
I think there's some truth to these jokes. Do you think maybe Ryan Reynolds is a little insecure that he might lose his wife to a younger, maybe even some would say more attractive actor? I don't know. But let's hear that again. First it's Ryan.
God, this is cool.
Baldoni, listen to what he
and then
says.
it's Hugh.
Okay.
Oh, God.
This is cool. It's not every day the husband gets to interview his wife's love interest in a film. It's kind of crazy.
I don't remember seeing this on the schedule.
Let's dive in, shall we? So I saw you posing in a photo with Mrs. Reynolds, and I'm sorry, what do you call her? Do you guys have a nickname or something? Okay, no, just so it's Mrs. Okay.
No.
It's not every
I don't know who this other actor is, but I know he's an actor. So they're just using him to fill in as Justin Baldoni, I guess. Pretend.
day a guy gets to interview the love interest of his best friend's wife, and the guy trying to replace Ryan as a husband, and me as his best mate.
Holy shit.
What the hell are you doing messing with my best buddy's wife?
Sir, I have no idea what's happening at all today.
So I'm starting to think, you guys, now that we know, okay, think about what he is saying there. Is somebody trying to replace my husband's, my best friend's husband's wife, right? My best friend's wife, okay? He's basically like, shooting this with Brandon Sklenner, because that's not Justin Baldoni, but he knows Justin Baldoni is probably 5 feet away. It's Justin Baldoni's film. And he's writing this script. And I don't think it's really a
So Justin could even be within earshot.
script. Okay. I think Ryan Reynolds is peacocking, bringing in an A-lister, saying, you can't say no to this. We're promoting your movie. And this is an A-list star that's willing to do it. But he's actually taking a stab at what likely went on behind the scenes here. Ryan felt, for whatever reason, intimidated about the relationship that maybe he thought was budding between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. And he's saying that in the script, and he has a distinctive pattern. Ryan Reynolds, this is his thing. He's a Taylor Swift of the movie industry. When he gets upset with somebody, he puts them into a script. And sometimes it's people that he's working with, actors on set. When he gets mad or he gets angry, he steps out of character and goes off script and uses the character to diminish the actor. How do we know this? Because TJ Miller, and they made up after this, I will say that, spoke about this on Adam Carolla's podcast. He was saying he would never work with Ryan Reynolds, basically saying he was an absolute jerk, and that they had this weird moment where Ryan Reynolds used his character Deadpool to basically strip him down in real life. Take a listen to what TJ Miller had to say.
We had a really weird moment on Deadpool where he said, let's do one more.
So he played, I don't know if you guys are even familiar with the Deadpool movies, but I can't remember, I think it was the first and the second one that he was in. But anyways, he plays Deadpool's friend, and he's the bartender. So he's a bartender in this bar that everybody goes and hangs out at, including Deadpool.
Take. And everyone was like, okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And then as the character, he was like horrifically mean to me. But to me.
Cathartic.
As if I'm Weasel.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So he was like, you know what's great about you, Weasel? You're not the star. But you just, you do just enough exposition that it's funny, and then we can leave and get back to the real movie.
So he's riffing. How much riffing was done?
A lot. And he's a great improviser.
And how much of it made the cut?
A lot of it. And then the stuff that they kept and you see in the reel, it's a lot of it is what he's doing. I'm riffing. Also the writers were so incredible.
But what went south in that moment? Did you react to it?
I just kind of listened and thought it was weird. And then I got off stage because then they finally were like, cut. And then I got off stage and I walked over and the whole crew was acting weird. And then I went up to Kate and I was like, that was weird, right? And she was like, of course it was weird. It was insane. It was insane. And everybody was looking at each other like, what the is he doing?
So this is Ryan Reynolds' thing. This is how he offsets his emotion. He channels it through.
What do you guys think? Do you think she's onto something about this? This is the part that I really wanted to show you guys, is that maybe Ryan takes real life situations, spins them into jokes, and writes it into his movies to really make fun of people, like he did with Nice Pool. Or he uses his character to attack people, saying things that he wouldn't say to them normally, as if he were that character. It's just very bizarre. So that's really what I wanted to show you from Candace Owens' show. I thought that was an excellent point of view. All right, so this last thing that I wanted to bring to you was an article that was just published yesterday from TMZ. It says, Justin Baldoni's lawyer says Blake's a scared bully and she won't silence us. We want the truth public. So in addition to, let me switch screens here. In addition to releasing that video, Brian Friedman has said that they want to create like a website or a link or something where they're going to release all of the text messages and things between the two so that the public can make up their own mind regarding what was going on. So Justin Baldoni won't be bullied by Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, his lawyer says, claiming their recent court filings show how scared they truly are. Brian Friedman's lawyer says Brian Friedman, who is Baldoni's lawyer, tells TMZ Blake's team asking a judge for a gag order to stop Friedman and company from talking about the case to the media is an ironic attempt to gag the truth in a case where she claims she wants all the facts to come out. BF says the A-list, who's B? Oh, Brian Friedman. Brian Friedman says that the A-list couple have wielded power in Hollywood built on pure fear cultivated by both themselves and their powerful friends in entertainment. But that all ended when they reached out to the New York Times to what Friedman calls a well-calculated hit piece. Blake worked with the media outlet, Friedman says, which Baldoni is suing for $250 million. So he's suing New York Times for $250 million, and then he's suing Blake and Ryan for $400 million. So he's suing them. What does it say? Blake worked with the media to ruin the lives of his client and other innocent individuals simply because so there's more innocent people involved in this simply because the world had seen through her public persona and no longer viewed her the same. So because her own public persona changed when she started doing the publicity, because people started realizing you're just empty and full of meanness, you're a mean girl inside. People started realizing that and really didn't have a good opinion about her. Freeman says Blake isn't just hurting Baldoni by accusing him of SA, never wrong. She's also devastating the entirety of the DV community by lodging these allegations. I 100% agree. It really irks me. This is the reason why I'm covering this, is because I can't stand when people lie about being maltreated. As for the actual gag order, which Blake's team sent a letter to the court requesting this week, Friedman says that they will always respect the court, but we will never be bullied by those suggesting we cannot defend our clients in pure, unedited facts. Baldoni's attorney says they just want to show the world actual text messages and unedited video, like the one they released, which we watched the 10 minutes of, showing the two interacting in between takes on the It Ends With Us. It was like during and in between takes to contradict the allegations. Friedman ends his statement with a strong support for truth, adding, "It seems that in a time of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act." As we told you, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds filed for the gag order earlier this week, claiming Friedman's making false statements about the case. This is all connected to the $400 million lawsuit Baldoni filed against the couple, accusing her of defamation, civil extortion, and other allegations. Blake's team has fired back at the claims, at the claims against her, calling them BS. We've reached out to Blake to Blake's side about Freeman's statement. So far, no word back. So that is the information that I have for you. I'm going to put out a quiz on my channel, so look for that on who do you think, or what is the reason behind um, all of this? What stirred the pot to get all of the lawsuits and everything going? I'll put out a quiz. Do you think it's because Justin's guilty of what she's saying? Is Ryan Reynolds just a psychopath and egomaniac, or is Blake Lively just a mean girl? We'll figure that out and more on this channel. So stay tuned, hit the like button.